four-wheelers racing through the landscape of America. For 13 rounds, these men will battle the trails, the elements, and each other for the right to be called champion. You have to see it to believe it. The Grand National ATV Cross Country Series is next on Fox Sports Net. Motorcycles and four-wheelers challenging the treacherous Florida terrain in search of a year-end championship and the right to be called the best cross-country racer in America. It's the traditional opener of the Grand National Cross Country Series, presented by Suzuki. Hello everyone, I'm Larry Myers. Welcome to the first of 26 weeks of extremely exciting cross-country racing here on Fox Sports Net. Now, 13 of those weeks will be devoted to all-terrain vehicles. We'll shorten that up and call them ATVs. The other 13 will be motorcycles. On tap today, well, the ATVs will start their quest, a 13-week quest, for the championship of the Grand National Cross Country Series. Now, to help me bring you the action is an old friend and a mighty fast racer, I might add, in the woods, former GNCC competitor and an off-road champion, Mark Hyde. Mark, this is so exciting. The start of any series, I think, is that way. What do you anticipate that we would see from these guys out here today?
Well, this is always a very exciting and fun series to watch. After Barry Hawk dominated this series for 7 years, he's moved on to the motorcycles full time. And Bill Ballance, he won the championship last year, but there's a bunch of new guys that want to step in and really take advantage of Barry's vacancy.
I know. You take a look at a quad racer or an ATV, and they look to be, about 4 foot high at the handlebars, and you drop down to the tires and they're even wider. How do these guys get through the woods so fast?
Well, that's where a lot of skill and technique come in. Ballance, Smiley, Yoakley, those guys have some talent. They're just unbelievable. Today here in Florida, they'll see speeds up to 70 miles an hour, and when they hit that motocross track and they start jumping those ATVs 50 foot through the air at 325 pounds, there's some sights to be seen out there today.
I guess there are. Let's take a look at the point standings from last year. After 2 years of runner-up finishes, Kentucky's Bill Ballance finally broke through with the championship, and he will be the man everyone is going to chase in 2001. Ballance is standing by with the third member of our broadcast team, Bob Walker.
This is no Honda, it's no Suzuki, it's no Kawasaki, and it's certainly no Yamaha. What it is the #1 plate of ATV 2000 champion Bill Ballance. Bill, how does it feel to finally win the 2000 championship?
It feels great. You know, it's been a lot of years of hard work and a lot of people helping me out through the years to get where we're at. And you know, it's just an awesome feeling to be able to come out here and win the championship after being so close for so many years. You know, getting lots of seconds and thirds and being runner-up. You know, being the first loser, I guess you would say. But it feels real good to finally have the #1 plate.
1999, you were winning the race in the last lap and ran out of gas. Last year, you finally won it. What's it going to take to win it in 2001?
It's going to take a lot of determination. You know, this track is the roughest track on the course or on the whole series, and it's real physical. It's a lot of whoops. It's going to be hot down here. Everybody's coming from down north, and it's hard on everybody. So to come down here and do good, you got to be in good shape. You got to have your bike working good for the whoops, and you got to have a lot of power. And we've got that today because we've got the new LRD 350 motor power valve, and we went out and practiced yesterday, and it's smoking. It's running good.
With this being your first championship, what's it going to take to defend the title in 2001?
You know, we've got to play the cards right. It's a lot of the series. It's a real long series. You got to be at the right spot at the right time. You've got to make the right decisions. You got to be at the right spot at the right time at the end of the race, and you've got to survive through the races and make it to that point with as few problems as you can. You got to be smart. You got to ride the bike smooth, keep the bike bulletproof, and you've got to be there at the end to win the race.
For Bill Ballance to finish championship in 2001, he's going to have to take on a hungry stable of riders that are going to be nipping at his coattails.
Well, in order to win the championship this year, it's going to take a lot of consistent finishes, top threes, but the ultimate goal, you got to keep winning races. The one who wins the most races is going to win the championship.
Try to keep the pressure on him all the time and try to make it hard on him to win. I like to win as many as I can and just keep putting pressure on all the riders and just keep them nervous or try to make them nervous and make them dread to see me coming.
Well, I'm going to take it one step at a time. See, in the motocross, I've always wanted to take it at one race at a time, but I think with the hare scramble event, you're going to have to take it with one race at a time, and that's what I'm going to have, that mentality. So, I mean, if I'm here running in the back, I'm just going to make sure I finish for the points. I think it's going to boil down to, you know, the last couple races is going to determine who's going to win the championship.
Mark, I get the idea there are several guys out here that think they can win.
I tell you, Larry, it's been a long, cold winter, and these guys can't wait to get after it.
And that's what we're going to do when we come back. We're going to get after it.
The Grand National Cross Country Championship Series is brought to you by Suzuki, by Honda, and by CD Boots.
Hey, welcome back for a quick look at the track. Out of all of those items, of Palmetto scare me. Bob Walker is on the track.
One of the things that the riders have to contend with here at the GNCCs are the course markers. These course markers here, the red arrows that the Racer Productions people put out, as well as the Danger X signs, give the riders directions around the track. When they come around for the first lap, the riders have never been on the track before. They're going to have to be agile, quick-witted, have good vision to find their way around. They need to keep an eye on these markers. They certainly don't want to hit a Danger X sign, because you know if you hit a Danger X sign, it's going to hurt.
And my guess is if you hit a tree, that's going to hurt. Hey, take a look at this starting lineup. Man, these are the best ATV riders in the country.
It's going to be exciting to see Bill Ballance, William Yoakley, Matt Smiley, Brad Page, and it's really going to be interesting to see how Bill Ballance handles that #1 plate this year.
And how the other guys will try to take it away from him. Let's go down to the track, and John Ayres for the start.
10 seconds away from the start of round #1 of our pro class. Green flag up.
And we're underway with the first race of the season in the all-terrain vehicle class. Bill Ballance grabs the hole shot. Look at that massive rider's mark.
Yes, and the great thing about it is all the major players up front, Ballance, Yoakley, Smiley, Page, they're all in contention at this point in the race.
All except Boric. I saw him back at the rear. And oh, look, we've had a change already on the leaderboard. Ballance lost his position. Matt Smiley instead is leading.
Yeah, but he's still in great shape, and sometimes in this type of race, you don't want to be leading. You want to watch what the other guys are doing.
Talk a second about Bill Boric. He is way at the tail end. Oh, and a big pileup. That's about the third corner in. And Boric, one of the pre-race favorites, is right in the middle. Rider number 14, if he wants to make any kind of headway in this race, he is really going to have to get on the gas. Can he do it?
Yeah, you know, he's a young kid. I know he'll be excited and really try to charge back up to the front. And that's what happens when you get in a bad start. Let's look at this again real quick. See, Boric, he's back there in the back with riders not accustomed going his speed, and he probably got piled into one here and just caused a chain reaction.
That's a very good point. He generally does run faster than the guys at the rear end of the pack, and for that, he is going to suffer. He'll have to make up that ground if he can. Now we've got William Yoakley aboard the Team Green Kawasaki out front. And Yoakley would like nothing better than to put some distance between himself and Bill Ballance, who is running in second, but that is not going to be easy.
Yeah, and the great thing, Yoakley last year, he was not quite as consistent as Ballance was, and that's what cost him the championship.
Now you saw a motorcycle duck in between those all-terrain vehicles. Well, this is what it's all about. It's a Fox Sports Net MotoCam. That's right. We're looking from atop the rider's helmet, the MotoCam rider, and he is going to follow some of the action from time to time as this race wears on. Now you have to forgive, of course, because this is a very bumpy track, and he's going up and down, and that means the camera's going up and down. Great shots, though, Mark.
Oh, it is, and I think the people at home are really going to appreciate this. You really get a feel for what's going on out there from a rider standpoint, the ups and downs. Really give you a nice home feeling of what these palmettos are all about.
Back to the head of the pack, and it is still Yoakley out front being chased by Bill Ballance, and it looks like they're starting to put some distance between themselves and this pair of riders. That's Seagot and Smiley. They're battling over third place.
Yeah, and they really have to get busy here because they can't afford to let the leaders get away. And sometimes you have to do that when you're in a race like this. you have to work with other riders to catch back up to that lead group before something happens.
The beauty of the Florida terrain. Look at this stuff they're riding in now. They went through a tight technical section, and how they got through there so fast with minimal clearance is beyond me. In fact, our chase rider there, our motocam rider, almost went off the track, Mark.
Well, I tell you, that's a great thing about this motocam guy. He really gets to show us the up-close and personal view of what these guys get to see.
Rider number 14, left side of your screen, that's Chris Borich. He has worked all the way up to the number 15 position. Meanwhile, back to the front of the pack, Yoakley is still holding off Ballance. Wow, what a race. Hey, we're going to go to break with a look at the Maxxis Tires leaderboard on Fox Sports Net. Stick with us, because that's where you'll find the racing. Hey, welcome back to the Grand National Cross Country Championship Series. This is all-terrain vehicle racing at its best. Out front, the guy in green. That's William Yoakley. Right behind is the defending champion in the class, Bill Ballance. And behind those two riders, we've got three more. And look, we're going to have a lead change. Yoakley went wide and Ballance went underneath him. Actually, he ran off the track, Mark, and that gave Ballance an opportunity to take over the number one position.
Yeah, it did, and if you notice, Brad Page has moved up in the mix, and he's putting pressure on the front guys.
Wow. Yoakley had things going his way. What is it, a loss of concentration?
I think what it is, first race of the series, everybody's excited, first time out on the track,
Whoa.
and Ballance is getting after it.
Did you see that power wheelie?
Well, he said he had that 350 kit in there this year, and it looks like he's putting it to good use.
Boy, he is. Look at that gaggle of riders out front just getting it on. All of them are expecting to win this championship, and in particular this race today. Now Yoakley in second place almost lost it there. Did he save it?
I think he did.
Yeah, I think he did too, but there he is, back in the camera range. Wow, that was so close. He was up on the two wheels, almost off into the bushes, but as Bill Ballance right now, he's the defending champ. He is out front, and look at him go through this quagmire.
Yeah, these guys, I think what happened to Yoakley there was with Ballance behind him, first lap around the track, he could have got some arm pump, because these guys are from up north, and they haven't got a lot of chance to ride in sand. It's been a lot of snow riding back home.
Yeah, you're right. You're very right. The terrain out there is a little on the soft side, and Brian Baker, we're looking at him right now. He's riding a roll design, currently in sixth place. It's a little soft out there, and maybe the corner just didn't turn like he thought it would go, or turn rather. And this is the first time they have seen this track. Let's not forget that. They have not had the opportunity to ride on this racetrack. Oh, look at this. Chris Borich has worked all the way up to 10th place. Hey, we'll take a little break from the action as we put a couple of riders in the Suzuki Spotlight.
Hello, I'm Bill Ballance, 2000 champion. I'm back here in 2001 going to try to defend my championship. I'm on my Maxxis-sponsored Lone Star chassis with my LRD 350 motor. We're out here in Okeechobee, Florida, and we're going to try to start round one off with a win.
I'm William Yoakley. I'm riding the Team Green number 2 KXF 250 quad today, and I'm looking to go out here and rip this track up, fly through the motocross, and just tear these boys a new one and put myself on the number one spot.
Well, William Yoakley was tearing up the racetrack earlier, then he tore up some banners as he lost the lead to Bill Ballance. There's Yoakley in second place. And third place, Brad Page, rider number 5. And boy, just click them off, Mark, as they go through a checkpoint. Explain this.
Okay, Larry, this is just an observation check. Along with the main check back in the pits, the riders have to make sure they hit every one of these while they complete a whole lap.
And that'll stop a guy from cheating every time. Hey, we're going to rejoin the action with a Fox Sports Net Moto Cam. He's jumped in behind the leaders. Rather close, I would think. He's getting a lot of dirt thrown up in his face. Those guys are really pounding his trail.
Yeah, they are, Larry, and I tell you, this really gives the viewers at home a good look to see what the riders have to go through on a lap-by-lap basis.
Now, you can tell the way the rider with the camera is bouncing around just how rough this track is, and look how tight and technical it is.
I tell you, it's amazing. These are the things we talk about. These are the palmetto bushes. You can see how their tree roots grow on top of the ground, and it really makes it difficult for these guys to go where they want to.
Mark, they're going to pound their bodies, pound their machines for some 2 hours on this 11-mile track. How in the world do they do it?
I tell you, this is where the fitness level comes in, and also, too, the rider's skill, because the less effort you have to use, the longer you can go fast.
I would have to say that I'd last about 35 seconds, something like that.
Well, that's 35 seconds faster than some of these people.
The track is so grueling, it's just unbelievable. Now we're going back in the pack just a ways. That's Brian Baker, another of the pre-race favorites. He's worked his Kawasaki up to 6th place, and he has all kinds of company in that position.
Yeah, he's right there with Kim Coonley and also Johnny Gallagher.
Coonley and Gallagher. Look at them jump. They're on the motocross portion of the track. Did you see that? Look at that.
Yeah, that's Jeff Seagat, and he has a huge motocross background, and he's putting it to good use right here, Larry.
We're watching a supercross, I swear. Look at him square that berm off.
Yeah, like I said, this is what he's noted for, and this is what all the guys were worried about with him, because Florida is a much faster track than the others we'll see this year, and this is where he's putting it on them.
Is there anything you can do on a motorcycle that you can't do on a quad?
Well, maybe fit through some of those real tight trees, but on this motocross track, they're showing us what it's all about.
I think you make a very good point there. Look at him square that corner, wheels up in the air. Now he's going high. He grabs a handful of throttle, uses the banking, and rockets down. Wow. Hey, check the Maxxis Tire leaderboard, and we will be right back. Hey, welcome back to the Grand National Championship Cross Country Series for all-terrain vehicles. That is number 1, Bill Ballance. He is back out in front. Now, on 2 occasions, Ballance has been the leader today. We'll take a look at how he got into that position on both occasions. Mark, call the action here.
Okay, I think what happened here was on the first lap, William Yoakley, all excited, just kind of gets in here a little bit hot, and Bill Ballance, being the cagey veteran that he is, he's just able to sneak inside there and put a move on Yoakley, and I think he was probably hoping he'd bring a couple guys with him.
Yeah, Yoakley actually went outside the banners, and here's the second time he got into the lead.
Yeah, here we have Seagat. He's known for his motocross skills, but maybe Scotty Parker could have given him a few tips here. Boy, Ballance, he's getting her up on 2 wheels there. That guy can flat track as well as ride in the woods.
Is that when you say, whoa, Nelly, as we head into the jungle at mile marker number 9?
Yeah, and Brad Page here, we've got a good look from our moto cam to see what they're really getting into. Boy, you can look those palmettos in there.
Uh-oh, Page is stuck. Now that's going to be costly. Page is stuck either on a tree rut, could be mud, it could be most anything. There might be an alligator in there for all I know.
Hey, the way that helmet camera's swiveling around, that's probably what he's looking for.
I think that's a good point. Not only is he stuck, though, behind him, there he is, like, I saw the gator. I swear I saw the gator. Behind him, there are several riders that are being held up. You know that they're just chomping at the bit. There's only one way through there.
Yeah, and now look at the leaders. They're getting away from him.
And coming into the home checkpoint, rider number 1, Bill Ballance, right on his rear wheels, William Yoakley. Into the pit area, and they are going to stop for gas this time around. At least Ballance is, and now Yoakley is.
Yeah, this is an important part of the race right here, because you can really make or break the guys. You might have spent the whole lap trying to get around somebody, you have a bad pit, and they're around you before you know it.
Now, prior to this pit stop, there was a lot of speculation. Do we stop once? Do we stop twice? Do we stop 3 times? And all of these guys, I would tell you, every pit crew in there lies to each other. They won't tell the truth, and you never know until the rider comes right into the pit and whether he stops or not.
Yeah, and they do that on purpose. A lot of strategy going on here. And in first race of the year, you do not want to make a mistake. Oh, and here we have Brad Page just showing up after his visit with the alligator.
Now, those riders were in and out in something like 3 to 4 seconds. Now, Page took an abnormal amount of time. He was in there a long time, probably about 6 seconds or something like that. Now, that's costly, 3 seconds a lap. You do that, when you give up that much time, you just can't afford it.
Yeah, and what the big thing is there, when you give up extra time in pits, it's hard to make it up back on this race course.
Ballance was in and out in like 3 seconds, and Yoakley right behind him. Now Ballance has opened up a slight lead on Yoakley. Looks about 4, maybe 5 seconds. That's the largest gap that we have had since this race got underway.
Yeah, you can see how rough the race course is getting. That sand. Hey, look, there's Chris Forage. He is really charging to the front.
From 15th all the way up to, in fact, he was 17th, if I'm not mistaken, at the start, all the way up to 4th. That guy is on the gas. So is Bill Ballance out front. Ballance is just cutting a wide swath. Now, Yoakley is going to need a break in this one, and he's not going to get it from Ballance, because Ballance is making absolutely no mistakes.
Yeah, and here we have Kim Coonley. He's one of the veterans of the group. He'll definitely use his course knowledge and previous years of experience to keep himself up front.
And Seagot just now coming into the pit area. Boy, he lost a giant wheelie. He's going to take fuel. Yes, he is. He pulls into his pit.
Yeah, we need to get down there and see what happened to him because he was just out front on the motocross course a lap ago, and now he's all the way back to 17th.
He was. It couldn't have been just traffic. He must have got hung up. One of those palmettos that you talked about, or a deep quagmire could have grabbed him, but he lost tremendous ground. Meanwhile, Bill Ballance is ripping this racetrack apart.
Boy, he is. You know, he made a mistake early, got a little bit behind, but now he's on the big charge to get Ballance back in his sights.
And Yoakley is right behind him. This is the grass track portion. Hey, let's go down to the pits. Bob Walker has more on Seagot.
Thanks, fellas. For the second year in a row, Jeff Seagot is snake bitten here at the first round of the GNCCs. Running out in front, disappears in the back section of the woods. Jeff, what happened to him?
It appears we lost a Kickstarter back there in the back 40, and Jeff dropped back behind Bill Ballance, and he came in 8th in a pit and gassed, and we're running about 8th spot right now.
Now we're watching Matt Smiley. He's running 3rd. Mark, things like that have happened to you. What happened to Seagot? Can you relate how tough it is on you mentally?
Oh, it's very heartbreaking, especially the first race of the year. I mean, you're all excited, and he was running up front right there with the leaders, right where he wanted to be. And to have something like that is just devastating. But at this point in time, he's got to put his head down, you know, just forget about it and get as many points as he can right now.
Hey, charging is exactly what Matt Smiley is doing. When we come back, the 4th member of our broadcast team, Jen Hildreth, will take a close-up look at this guy, our leader and the defending ATV champ, Bill Ballance. Welcome back to Grand National Championship Cross Country Racing presented by Suzuki. This is round 1 coming to you from the Kirton Ranch. I'm Larry Myers along with Mark Hyde and Bob Walker. Here comes your leader, Bill Ballance. Here's Jen Hildreth with more on Bill Ballance.
Growing up at his family's farm outside of Bowling Green, Kentucky, Bill Ballance always thought he'd become a farmer. He loved being outside and working in the dirt. But as he grew older, his love turned to racing. ATV rider Jimmy Duff helped get Ballance into the sport.
He was with me from the word go, you know, as far as racing. I mean, I'd done a lot of riding and stuff here on the farm with my dad and different friends and stuff that would come over, but going to the first race, Jimmy was the guy that took me and talked me into it, so that was where he come into play.
I'll have to admit, his dad and I didn't give him a lot of support in the beginning. Jimmy, he could see the talent there, and he really pushed him.
Duff has been by Ballance's side ever since, and has seen Bill go from the guy who worked on the family farm to the best ATV rider in America, a title that is not without its pressures.
You've got pressures of not only going out there and having fun, it seems like some of that sort of fades away sometimes, and it's hard to get back to. But you're also thinking about going out there and not doing good just because you want to, and it's a fun thing to achieve, but you start, unfortunately, getting dollar bill signs in your head so that you can come back and make your house payments and your vehicle payments. So it has put added pressure on me. I couldn't lie about that.
He has to devote so much of his time now to the racing. When he's not racing, he's getting bikes ready and everything and practicing. He doesn't have time to really work on the farm now, so he almost needs to win to make a living now.
Despite the monetary demands, Ballance said his love of racing is still what drives him to succeed.
You've got to keep some part of the fun there, because if you don't keep that competitiveness in you and that fun to go out and win, achieving something, it would be hard to go out there and win races.
He is a dedicated champion, no two ways about that, and there he is, Bill Ballance. And check this out. Yoakley has caught back up just about a second. Something's dangling off the side of Yoakley's machine.
Yeah, not only is this course really difficult on the body, but now it's starting to take its toll on the machines out there.
That was down in the area of where you rest your right foot. Will that be a problem?
Well, from what it looked like, it wasn't a big piece, and hopefully it'll just come off, and then won't have to worry about it at all.
Yeah, well, in the meantime, it's coming up, snapping up, and slapping him in the ankle, and let's hope it doesn't get caught on anything on the trail. I just started to say that Yoakley had dropped off the pace, but is now within 1 second of the leader, Bill Ballance. Now, either Ballance had a problem or Yoakley has really been going fast.
Maybe a combination of both. And one thing with this Florida track that's unique, it's really wide, so it's not real hard to pass down here, so lappers might not be a big problem. And another thing too, when you're chasing somebody, it's easier to catch them than it is to get away sometimes.
Get this. There is Chris Borage. Would you believe he has worked all the way up to 4th place? It's another one of those Yoakley things. A guy is behind, he gets a shot of adrenaline, and he just feels no pain.
Yeah, but can he keep this up or does he burn himself out?
Speaking of burning, check this out. That poor guy thought he was going as fast as anyone in the world, and then zap. Ballance went by on one side, zap. Yoakley got him on the other. Man, those guys are cutting some hot laps. No question about that. And there is Smiley in 3rd place. He's pretty much all by himself right now.
Yeah, but he's riding a good, strong race. And most guys come to Florida, they just want to get out of here with a nice top 3 finish. And if he can do that, he's done a good job here today.
Good point. This is a tough track, as you will see from the Fox Sports Net Moto Cam. As he jumps in behind Yoakley, and this is the battle for the lead. See that dust trail just up above him, top part of your screen? That is Bill Ballance.
Yeah, and you can see by the dust. We had some rain last night, but with the high wind and the sunshine here in Florida, that sand just soaks up the moisture. This can be really difficult for Yoakley.
And back to Jeff Seagot. You remember he was the leader, lost a Kickstarter in the woods, dropped to 17th place, and has worked up now to 11th. My guess is the way he is riding, he'll pick off a few more riders before this is over. Look at him go.
Yeah, and it's great to see him charge like this, because that's really what you need when it comes down to winning championships. Just because you have a problem, there's no reason to pack it in for the day.
And there is Ballance leading Yoakley. Whoa, and Yoakley blows a corner. He was supposed to turn there. We'll check the Maxxis Tires leaderboard, and we'll be right back. Hey, welcome back. You're watching the Grand National Cross Country Championship Series presented by Suzuki, and look at this battle for the lead. Yoakley on the inside will take the lead away from Ballance.
Boy, Yoakley did a great job of getting underneath and pushing Ballance out on that corner.
He set him up big time. I mean, big time. And now we'll see if Ballance is able to rebound. Now, Yoakley was out front early in the going, but Ballance got it back when Yoakley made a mistake.
And here we have Chris Borage all the way back up in 4th, but he's got company with Brad Page right on his heels here.
Borage has been hammering this racetrack. He was in 17th. Don't forget he crashed on the almost in the first corner and was dead last, but has worked his way up all the way into 4th place. And here comes Yoakley. Look at this. 2 lapped riders, and Ballance is right behind. You could hear him screaming at the guys in front of him.
Oh, it doesn't get any better than this. The number 1 and number 2 plate holder, first race of the year, the gloves are off, and these guys mean business.
Do they ever? Kim Coonley has worked up to 6th place. He means business also, but you go to the head of the pack, and both of those guys are looking for championship points, knowing that they are going to be number 1 when the year is over. Look at that jump! Look at that jump! They are so dedicated, so intense on that racetrack. I'm telling you, no one today is in a class with these guys.
No, and I'd hate to be one of these lapped riders, and I hope it doesn't come down to that, one of those guys getting in the way.
Well, if they do get in the way, I think they'll be off the track. Now, we're coming up on the last lap. White flag will be out. Yoakley said he was not going to pit a second time for gas. Now, we know Ballance is going to. Here's Bob Walker in the pit.
All right, guys, here comes William Yoakley. He's leading the race here on the white flag. Is he going to stop? He's coming in. Yoakley's pitting. Ballance is in. Ballance is gassing. They're both gassing it up here. Who's out first? Yoakley's out and gone. Ballance is right in tow. They're about a second and a half apart, folks. We got a great final lap going on here.
Are you believing that? I've seen slower pit stops on NASCAR. You know, they don't do them that fast. Unbelievable. Dump gas and away they go. Perfect pit stops, both of them out. Yoakley threw a ringer in, said he was not going to pit. He went ahead and pitted anyhow. That's some of that strategy that you talked about, Mark. And now it boils down to a little bit of motocross. We've got some grass track left, the jungle, some more wood section, trails with ruts and woods. And we'll see how it works out. But right now, Yoakley has the lead.
Yeah, he's got 11 miles to stay there. It's a long way around, and with the palmettos, the sand, the heat, these guys, they're at the end of their limits right about now.
I don't think they feel it. I don't think they feel it all. Now Chris Borage is into the pits. Will he stop? Yes, he's going in.
Yeah, down here in Florida, the sand uses a lot more fuel. And every year, usually somebody makes the mistake, tries to go too far, and ends up pushing it back.
That's a very good point, and you don't want to push. The Gators will get you.
Oh, we notice here, look, Kim Coonley is caught up to Boric. It looks like Boric is running out of gas in his body, not his bike.
Meanwhile, Yoakley has hit the dirt track, one of the fastest parts of this racetrack. He is really opening a gap. Now remember, a moment ago we told you that Yoakley was not expected to pit on that last stop when he did. Let's go to Bob Walker in the pits.
Fellas, we're here in the Kawasaki pits with Reed Nordine. Reed, tell us about that pit strategy.
Well, our first pit wasn't so good. We lost one position in the pits. We weren't expecting to pit for the second time, but we decided to play it safe and give him a little bit of cushion for the fuel. On the last lap, he was in the lead, and we wanted to keep him in the lead, so it was in and out as quick as we could get him out.
And Yoakley working through lapped riders. Look at this. Ballance right behind. Those guys are all over their machines and all over the track. What a beating they're taking.
Well, as you can see, the track has gotten so much rougher than when we first started. And these guys, they're not as fresh as they were when we first started over 2 hours ago.
Now we'll take a quick look at Brad Page, who has gotten around Boric. Now Page, wonder what he's doing. I think he was actually reaching for the tube that leads to his drink bag. He was getting some refreshment there.
Yeah, with these races, the length that they are, you know, you have to rehydrate, and that's what he's doing. To go this distance, you got to be fresh all day.
Oh, look at this battle. This is for the lead. The green machine belongs to Yoakley. The red one is the defending champ, Ballance. They have been hammering each other this entire lap, and don't forget, this is the last lap. And back to Seaguide, he's currently running in 7th. He just now hits the dirt track.
Boy, he has really moved up the ladder. I mean, all the way back in 17th and now up to 7th.
Back to the head end of the pack, and there is Yoakley, there is Ballance, Sling, and Dirt getting it on after each other.
Boy, these two are really after one another. Ballance wants to keep that #1 plate, and Yoakley wants it more than anything.
Who has the most pressure on them right now, Mark? The guy out front or Ballance in 2nd place?
Yoakley's got to have the pressure. Ballance has been there before. He's won races like this. He's come from behind. So there's no doubt in my mind that Yoakley's under big pressure right now. Look at that.
Around that tree, Ballance got the inside line. He's going to try him. He'll switch back to the, oh, that ATV was parked there. I think that, oh, and Yoakley went off the track. Yoakley went off the track. Ballance again taking well, it was advantage of a mistake, a Yoakley mistake. That's the 2nd time today, and he is back in the #1 position.
Boy, I really think he forced Yoakley into that. Ever since Yoakley took the lead, he's been behind him and just nagging him like a bad headache.
That's a good analogy. And meanwhile, we'll jump up to Matt Smiley. He's still there, 3rd place. He has been riding all alone, but you pointed out, you know what? He's doing what he needs to do on this racetrack today. He's going to walk away with some big-time points, and that's what he wants out of this championship. That's what it's all about, is winning a championship. Now, you get boiled up in a battle for the front-running position, and we'll take a look at some of it through our Fox Sportsnet Moto Cam, and you'll see what I mean. Here it is. You get up there and you forget what the objective is. Forget championships. Those guys plain want to beat each other.
Oh, yeah, there's nothing they want more than to get off to the right start. And if Yoakley can get around Ballance here, boy, look at him trying.
Oh, boy. That cost him a little bit.
Yeah, you know, but it was an aggressive move, and I like to see that. He's not settling for 2nd. He wants to win.
You're right. You can't pass. You cannot pass. It's impossible if you're following right on the rear wheels of the guy. Brad Page, currently in 4th. Page has done a wonderful job throughout this race. Just has not been in with the front runners. But again, it's one of those championship things. I'm going to get the points. I'm going to walk out of here happy with what I got.
Well, Brad made that mistake on the first lap that really cost him.
Here's what the course looks like. Oh, we got riders. That's Yoakley. Yoakley has stalled his machine. Oh, no. What do you think happened, Mark?
I think in the heat of the battle, that lapped rider might have thrown him off, and he did something he didn't want to do.
Oh, boy. Now, what will happen? One of 2 things. Either Yoakley will, I think, catch up again to Ballance, or he's going to go on a nose trying.
Well, I tell you, too, a lot of it depends on what Ballance does. Ballance, at this point in the race, he's got to be aggressive but smart. He can't let a lapped rider hold him up too long, but at the same time, he can't take a chance to get around that lapped rider and do even more damage to himself.
That is a good point. There is Bill Ballance. And look, Yoakley is on him. Yoakley is on him. Exactly what you said. They went through a tight section, and he got held up by a rider.
Yeah, if you notice there, they were just coming out behind the lapped rider, and I think that lapped rider right now is Bill Yoakley's best friend.
Now here's Borich all the way up to 5th from dead last in a crash that happened on, I guess, corner number 2 in the race. Borich was seemingly out of it, and now all the way up to 5th. Going back to our battle, less than a lap to go to decide the overall winner here today. And boy, I don't know. If I were in Las Vegas, I don't think I'd bet on or want to bet on either one of these two guys. I'd be afraid to. Look at how close Yoakley is to Ballance. Look at this. They're through the jungle.
And right now, Yoakley's in the catbird seat. Hey, look at that. Boy, he used that lap rider to his advantage. He held up Ballance, and Yoakley snuck by him as quick as could be.
The lap rider got in Balance's way. Yoakley took a shortcut through the Tulies, and he came out as the leader. Brian Baker up into 9th place. He makes his presence felt, but the action is out front. This race is still a long way from being over. I said a moment ago, who is going to give up? Who will die with the pressure? Who will live with the victory? Well, we still don't know. We have no idea. Yoakley is hammering Ballance right behind him. Baker still circulating in 9th place around this tough Florida course. Given the time remaining, how many opportunities will Bill Ballance have to get around Yoakley?
The great thing about this Florida course is it's really wide, it's getting rough, so there'll be plenty of opportunities.
Well, we'll see how it shapes out from our Fox Sports Net Moto Cam. And Ballance, that's Ballance out front. Ballance has gotten around Yoakley.
Yeah, and there was that corner where Yoakley got him back here a few laps ago. We're getting awful close to the finish, so we'll see if Yoakley's got a few more tricks up his sleeve before we get to the end.
Well, we watched Ballance put the pressure on Yoakley, and it worked for him. We'll see if Yoakley could do the same to Bill Ballance. This one is going to the wire. Take a look at the Max's running order, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to the Grand National Cross Country Championship Series presented by Suzuki. It has been exciting since the drop of the gate, and now we have less than a mile to go. This guy, William Yoakley, running in 2nd place. Ahead of him is the defending champ, Bill Ballance. They have, 20 yards between them is just about the most that we have seen all day. It's going to the wire.
Oh, it doesn't get any better than this. This is why we go racing. These two have been at it all day long. When one makes a mistake, the other one doesn't seem like he can capitalize on it.
We're riding with a Fox Sports Net Moto Cam. You can see the rough terrain, the sandy terrain. Vision occasionally is almost impossible. And now the riders they got side by side as Yoakley tried to get around Ballance. Ballance took the line away from him just in the nick of time.
Boy, that line was what Yoakley was looking for. He wanted to get ahead of him before we got to that motocross track.
And it's coming down to the wire. There's Ballance. Here's your leader. Yoakley's last-ditch effort. It took place just about 1/8 of a mile, and that piece is still flopping on the side of a machine. It's been there most of the afternoon, but that last-ditch effort may have been just that, the last ditch. They're on the motocross track right now, and I don't think that Yoakley is going to catch Ballance in a mistake. But hey, you never know. Maybe he'll force one. Look at that! Right on his rear wheel. He tries to cut to the inside. Not quite enough room, and he rams him.
Oh, if Yoakley could have got inside him there, he had the pass. He could have pushed Ballance wide, and they're coming so close to the finish, it'd have been his.
He not only would have pushed him wide, Mark, he'd have knocked him off the end of the racetrack. He rammed him good and hard. But you know what, Mark? It's been that kind of race. Ask no quarter and give no quarter. Bill Ballance heads for the finish line, a well-deserved win, and William Yoakley follows in 2nd place. Those two guys rode hard. Here comes Matt Smiley now. Smiley's had a good ride, finishing 3rd.
He has. He's done a great job. Sometimes when you're trying to win a championship, it's not what you do when you win a race, it's what you do when you lose. And his loss today is a 3rd place, and that's going to be some valuable points that he can add up at the end of the year.
You might have to ask yourself, were those the smart guys finishing 3rd, 4th, 5th, and so on, that did not go out there and risk life and limb in round 1 of this series? Because it's going to be a long series.
Yeah, but you know, Bill Ballance, he's carrying that number 1 plate. He wants to show everybody, this is mine, you guys have to take it.
Yeah, I guess that's a good point.
And there we have Matt Smiley crossing the line in 3rd.
And somewhere out on the motocross track, there he is. That's rider number 5, Brad Page. He's going to come home in 4th place if Brad keeps it upright between here and the checkered flag, and I'm certain he's going to do just that, although he's feeling his oats there. Getting a little frisky, get that front end up in the air. Kim Coonley, meanwhile, Coonley was just passed by Borich. Are you believing that?
I tell you, I think there you see the difference in age between the two. Chris Borich, he's the young gunslinger. Kim Coonley, he's the crafty old veteran, but the young gunslinger took his advantage of him there.
Don't be talking about old folks that way as Brad Page crosses the line in 4th place. Hey, when we come back, we'll talk to the winners, Bill Ballance and William Yoakley, to find out about that race-long battle they had. It was a tough one. It was a good one. Stay with us here on Fox Sports Net.
The Grand National Cross Country Championship Series is brought to you by Suzuki, by Honda, and by CD Boots.
Hey, welcome back as we join Bill Ballance in the winner's circle as he talks about the incredible race and the passing that went on.
Oh, actually, there wasn't any specific time of passing. We passed each other 3 or 4 times, and it was back and forth all day long, you know. The last lap, we probably had lead changes that changed 3, 4, 5 times. I'm not sure how many times, but it was just back and forth all day long, and it was a heck of a battle out there.
The track conditions, how they evolve over the course of the day?
Well, down here it's a lot of sand, and there's a lot of guys, new guys that come in, and they see the track and they see how smooth it is, and they think, oh, this is just going to be a freeway. But by the 2nd or 3rd lap, they've changed their mind because all that sand does is churn up and make some whoops that go anywhere from knee deep to waist deep, and it's usually 9-10 miles of nothing but whoops.
What was the section you were making your most time out there?
Out there in the open fields where it was the roughest and fastest was where I felt like I was doing the best. You know, the Axis shocks and Lone Star chassis and the LRD motor out there in the stretches, man, it was just pulling.
Now, one thing it was doing was pulling Yoakley around all day long. What a great ride as we check out the final results. Seagot ending up in the number 7 position, Halsey in 11th, on down the line. We're going to go back to Bob Walker, who is with William Yoakley in winner's circle.
2nd place finisher, William Yoakley. A lot going on in the pits at lap 4. Why did you guys pit for gas? Was it necessary?
Well, this is kind of a fear of running out of gas. This track's so wide open, so fast, and people's ran out of gas here before in the past, and it's just, you don't want to start the season off running that good and run out of gas just because you can't afford to take a few seconds to stop.
Do you really think you would have made it without pitting? Do you think you would have made it?
I may have, but then again, I may not have.
2nd place a lot better than 1st place when you start the season off.
Yeah. It's, 2nd's not as good as 1st, but it's a lot better than a 10th or 15th. So, just got to play it smart. At the end of the year, it's all points.
So how did Billy get you out there? Where'd the last pass go down?
The last pass, I was kind of coming up on a lapper, and I was trying to swing around them. They kind of swung wide, and I got out in the loose sand, and he just kind of hugged it tight, the whole hard-packed dirt, and he come out of there just with a little more momentum and just barely beat me to the corner into the gap. And so, it's not dirty racing, so I just let him have it.
Well, I tell you, if this is a sign of things to come for the next 11 rounds, we got some great ATV racing in 2001.
Well, I, for one, after watching the race from Florida, would have to agree with that. We're looking forward to just a fantastic series. Check out the points. We'll go back to winner's circle and hear from our 3rd place finisher. He liked the track and the race.
That was fast and rough, but my Duncan engine was pulling hard, and roll design chassis with these Axis shocks were soaking it up, but I just couldn't seem to keep these guys pace today. It's not really my type of track. I'll be back at them next week up in Georgia in the trees.
Now, Macon, Georgia is going to be your type of track to race on. You think you can get these guys next week?
Yeah, no doubt about it. They got away on me today, but I'll be right with them next week.
We'll see next week how Matt Smiley does.
Well, thanks, Bob. Mark, last-minute thoughts?
Hey, I'm just thrilled these guys are getting to be on TV and everybody can watch them.
It's about time, long overdue for this inaugural broadcast. Hey, for Bob Walker, Jen Hildreth, Mark Hyde, my broadcast partner, I'm Larry Myers. So long, everyone.